entrepreneurs are supposed to be creative. You should be able to look at things from very many angles. You should be able to look at or to solve a problem from very many angles, not sticking to a single solution. And that is why we say entrepreneurs are supposed to be having plan A, plan B, plan C, name it. Entrepreneurs are expected to be responsible for all their actions and for whatever they do. If you're to become a successful entrepreneur, you should be accountable. You should be responsible enough. You should be ready to give accountability as far as your activities and your actions are concerned. Also, we believe entrepreneurs are inquisitive. They are so curious in that every time they are interested in knowing new things, knowing as much as possible. That is why they keep on asking a lot of questions. So that is under the entrepreneur. Again, entrepreneurs are expected, ready to do things alone, ready to do things on way to be supervised. You're not an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs are expected to be driven. Entrepreneurs are expected to be initiators. Be the first one to come up with anybody to supervise you. So those are some of the skills. Then the other one, entrepreneurs must be risk takers. Where you will see entrepreneurship minus risking. You have to be aware that there is no pain without gain. So if you think you're going to be investing in businesses that are straightforward, you will never become an entrepreneur. This one takes us back to our definition where we said entrepreneurs are moderate risk takers. At least go into what we call calculated risk. Calculated risk is the level at which even when you happen to incur losses, you still have a fallback position. So those are some of the qualities of entrepreneurs. And apart from the qualities, we have the competencies that are expected. Entrepreneurs are expected to be good communicators. If you want to succeed in the field of entrepreneurship, you must be having good communication skills, the ability to understand, the ability to listen carefully, actively, and attentively. Entrepreneurs are expected to be having what we call skills, and those are what we call interpersonal skills. The ability to befriend, the ability to relate with others easily. That is an entrepreneur. Expected to be knowing some math, the ability to calculate, the ability to add, the ability to subtract, the ability to divide, the ability to multiply. Otherwise, if you don't have those skills, you're going to be making losses year in, year out. Again, also entrepreneurs are expected to be problem solvers and fast decision makers. If you're going to be an entrepreneur and you cannot make a decision, every time you're faced with a situation, you need to first inquire from other people. Chances are that you will not make it. Then the other are the technical skills. Apart from the computer, we expect you to be knowledgeable in your field. If you're into the field of poultry in a detailed way, can you elaborate to another person what poultry is all about? That is, you should be able to elaborate how to feed the birds, how to, in other words, the technical bit, you must be having that information that is needed if you're to. That is why last time I took you through is that what will happen in a situation where you have 5 ideas and you have failed to choose the best idea. One of the factors we mentioned were the competencies, the skills that you possess. Do you have the skills to perform that venture or to take on that venture that you're planning to take on? So that is a factor as far as the skills are concerned. Then what are some problems entrepreneurs? Poor business planning. Not all entrepreneurs are in position to design a business plan. Not all entrepreneurs know what a business plan is all about. Not all entrepreneurs know the importances. Remember, a business plan is a roadmap. It is a guiding document showing you what you're supposed to be doing, when, how, and why. So a business plan is like a Bible in your business. It will be showing you what you're supposed to be doing at a certain time T. It will be showing you the resources that you need at a particular time T. Then the other challenge are the high taxes. Your be it small, medium, and large, paying tax is compulsory. Entrepreneurs are really the profits are going out in terms of the taxes. Then we have poor bookkeeping. Not all entrepreneurs are knowledgeable as far as record keeping and record management is concerned. Some entrepreneurs did not go to school. They don't know the value behind proper record keeping. They are operating manually. They are keeping all things in their heads. Even when they happen to give out merchandise on credit at times, because they are ignorant, they don't record. In the process, we see them forgetting even to claim. And the people who get things on credit also will not take the initiative to remind them that I took some merchandise from you on credit. Again, also, some entrepreneurs are challenged as far as the corruption from the government officials is concerned. For example, currently, the parish model is ongoing. And this parish model is supposed to operate in such a way that people are supposed to be given money to start some lucrative businesses. But what is so funny is that the government officers who are giving out the money are corrupt. How? For somebody to give you $1 million, you must give a commission of 300,000. Meaning that at the end, you're claiming that you received 1 million, but in actual sense, you received 700. The money will not get. The same thing that shows are really putting in place are really lengthy and indirectly those roads deep in areas really bad. They are poorly maintained to such an extent that commuting or accessing the market is really the markets. So they have to wait up to when. And now just imagine a case where somebody is transporting milk. Milk is something that is perishable. It will go bad in the shortest period of time possible. But just imagine a road that is really possible and you have to give it something like 2 the heavy downpour, chances are more than millions to go bad. So that infrastructure, also some people to access the markets, they need to use the bridges, which bridges keep on collapsing on a daily basis. So infrastructure is also another problem that is really hindering majority of the entrepreneurs in Uganda today. So apart from that, we have an example of some entrepreneurs here in Uganda. For example, we have Mwanga Chibirige, we have Chwanka, the late Murwana, we have Agasekalala, we have Salongo Kasauli, that is Samona, we have Alice Karugaba, Kasaba, and Sudil. So there are very many, but at least these are the most prominent as far as entrepreneurship is concerned. So that is as far as this class is concerned. Thanks for listening. So now the floor is open. You're free to react. You're free to send your questions in the chat room, and I will be able to look at all of them. So I have unmuted all of you. Anybody with a question now, you can go ahead and ask. Somebody with a question, please go ahead and ask. Yes, Nashil, I see you. Nashil. Nashil, where are you? Yes, go ahead and ask. Others, you can type your questions in the chat room. Yes, somebody is saying that I should take him back to the page of the factors for the emergency of entrepreneurs. Let me try to share the page. Yes, emergency. Yes, the page is here. Please, you can go ahead and ask. Somebody typed in the chat that I should take him or her back to the page. Factors for emergency of entrepreneurs. Please ask, what is your problem? So as far as the factors for emergency, I would say that we have the economic factors, we have the social factors, we have the psychological, technological, political, and individual factors. Starting with the economic factors, one of them is access to capital. We believe that every time there happens to be something like easy access to capital, people will always think about some entrepreneurial projects. And I shared an example that currently the Miyoga project is on, the youth fund is on, the parish model is on, the fund for the women entrepreneurs is on. So every time there happens to be money, people will always think about entrepreneurship. For example, many of the youth currently we are not thinking about entrepreneurship, but because of the parish model, where they are busy sensitizing them that if you have a business, if you can team up with others and come up with a good business plan, for us, we are ready to give you money. Again, also another factor that can make you venture into entrepreneurship is the availability of market. Every time you happen to see that there is ready market, if you can come up with something and you get people responding positively, it will force you to venture into entrepreneurship. An example, you can be making some chapatis maybe just around your home, and in the process of you making your chapatis from the compound, you can get like some 5 people asking whether you're selling some chapatis. So that is already a sign that market is available. So any person who is creative will say, oh, it seems this is now a business. If people are asking me whether I'm selling some, it means that tomorrow, if I take this to be a business, people will support me. Again, also raw materials. Every time raw materials are readily available, they will force you to use them to start a business. Then on the social part, I mentioned something with the family background. And I stress that for people who come from those backgrounds where people venture into entrepreneurship, where people rear chicken, where people are into agriculture, even when they happen to grow up, they cannot sit down and wait to depend on other people. That person will be knowing that back at home, we've survived on rearing chicken, and that is how the parents have been paying our tuition. If back at home, you've been surviving on dairy farming, even you, when you happen to grow up, already you have the skills from home. There is nothing that is going to be hindering you from taking the skills to another level. So that is a factor. Then also on the government side, mainly I've hit on the political stability. Once there is peace, once there is security, people will be motivated to start businesses. Somebody will say, after all, the political environment is okay. No fighting, no what, no rooting. People will venture in. Money is around, and this is government support. So every time the government is giving us some incentives, the youth fund is readily available, people will be forced to venture into entrepreneurship. Psychologically, the need for self-employment. We have those individuals who prefer to be bosses of their own. They feel like they cannot work under other people's umbrellas. Every time they want to be the bosses, such individuals will resort to entrepreneurship. Then the other factor is the ability to take a risk. Some individuals really feel
but unfortunately, where would I
then also another person is asking, how is that one making members? I unmuted you to ask questions, not to talk. So somebody, I think this is Luis, you're saying some highlight on that drone. Yes, drone entrepreneurs are those entrepreneurs who are rigid, entrepreneurs who are skeptical and don't believe in change. For them, they believe in doing things in the same way, year in, year out. And I've said that because of their rigidity, their businesses don't grow. Their businesses remain small year in, year out. A drone entrepreneur can operate a business for 5 years when the capital is not accumulating. But for them, they are comfortable that they are using the knowledge that they know. And that is why I say that drone entrepreneurs would rather close the business than accepting change. For them, instead of accepting change, they resort to closing the business. So those are the drone entrepreneurs. They are similar to the Fabian, but the Fabian entrepreneurs, most of the time, when you over insist on them, you will get them accepting change slowly by slowly compared to that drone. Any other question, members? Any other question? If you have a question, please go ahead and put it across. Please go ahead and type in the chat if you have any question. Go ahead. Yes, I'm seeing Phelan, your concern is explaining the point of low purchasing power. So I know low purchasing could be a challenge to the Ugandan entrepreneurs. When in a situation where the customers are not buying, you produce in large quantities, but the customers are not responding positively, chances are that that is a challenge that will threaten the entrepreneurs. The entrepreneurs will feel like they are investing in a lot, but they are not in position to get what they expected. So when we happen to have customers not purchasing in large quantities, that will be a factor that is most likely to discourage and demotivate most of the entrepreneurs. Then also somebody is talking about, please pardon me, on the second one you compared with the drone, those are Fabian. Fabian is F-A-B-I-A-N, not the way you have written. Let me type it here so that you can be able to see it. So these are the Fabian entrepreneurs. That is the word, Fabian. Fabian entrepreneurs are those entrepreneurs who are skeptical. They don't take change to be something important, but when you insist on them for quite a long period of time, you will get them accepting the change slowly by slowly. Those are the Fabian entrepreneurs. Then also, somebody is asking about the dates for the expo. Please be patient. Don't go into things which we have not yet handled. And we cannot handle the expo online. We shall handle those cases when you're physically present at campus. For the expo, I gave you a certain assignment, and also you can look at the course outline that I shared. There is a coursework on the course outline. Let me hope Motebi and Goom, you shared those course outlines. There is a coursework at the end. Currently, on top of that coursework, each individual is expected to come up with an individual idea, profile it, and hand it over to me. So on an individual basis, every person must come up with an individual idea, profile it, write a profile for that idea, and hand it over to me. Second, as a group, come up with the idea that you're planning to showcase at the expo and design its business plan. So after designing the business plan, hand over the business plan to me. Very soon, I will be communicating when to hand in that. But roughly, I'm giving you 1 week for your individual idea to be profiled and 1 week for the business plan to be drawn by a group. Individually, come up with your own idea and profile it. Then as a group, agree on a single idea that you're going to be exhibiting during the expo, design its business plan and hand over. So you have 1 week from now to have those on the coastline. Look at it and address it accordingly. The business canvas model, Ronald, one of the business canvas model we already handed in, coursework. Remember, in entrepreneurship, everything we are doing is practical. And as far as entrepreneurship is concerned, we moved away from the idea of giving out tests. Don't expect a test under entrepreneurship. That is why we give you these very things. So the assignments are still coming because you're not going to have a test. Any other question? Any other? Any other question? Individually, I can see the asking individually, yes. There is that individual assignment. Come this idea, write file, and you submit. That is individual. So move to the agree on a single idea that you're going to be showcasing at Expo and write up its business plan, you submit. And we've agreed it is 1 week from now. Next week on what? Monday, and in that work. Then somebody is asking an individual. As an individual, you write what we call a business profile. A business profile is a document trying to elaborate your business in more details. That document that is going to be showing us what your business is all about, your vision, your mission, your objectives, name it. Then somebody is asking what is the model submission of the individual coursework. Get in touch with the class representatives. GUM is there, Mutebi is there. Get in touch. You have your WhatsApp groups and you know where to find them. Pass on your work to your class reps and they will be able to bring it to my office. So that is how you're going to be submitting the individual assignments. Another one is asking, so on. If you think you have something better, you can change. But if you're well versed and comfortable with the idea that you presented in a Canvas model, go ahead and design its business plan. So if you're well versed and you're sure that is the idea, because several people have been coming, Madam, we had this idea or we have this, but we would like to change a bit, it's okay. It is allowed. You can present a different idea under the Canvas model, and when it comes to the Expo, you present another unique idea. Remember, entrepreneurship is all uniqueness. Entrepreneurship is all about creativity, your ability to come up with as many ideas as possible, and that will be our next topic, creativity and innovation. Somebody is asking whether it should be handwritten or typed. Excuse me, members, we are in the era of technology. I don't expect you to ask whether it is typed or printed. This one is obvious. It must be typed, not handwritten. So this what again another person is saying is the business so shall reflect, then want to show us the entrepreneurship under this charitable project or by so if there are no more questions, then hoping to hear from you some other time. So allow me end the class.